Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Perspectives podcast. This is episode 12, the week after the Superstar Shakeup. That's going to be our focus tonight. We thank you for joining us. It is April the 19th, and I want to introduce to you the other two people that are on this podcast. My name's John. Chance, how are you doing, my friend?
What's up, guys? What's up, Pro Wrestling Perspective Nation? How's it going tonight?
The universe, the Pro Wrestling Perspectives universe. Chad, how's it
Um,
going, man?
Oh,
I'm going to mute you, Chance. We're supposed to be hello and then moving on to Chad. Go ahead, Chad.
it's going good, guys.
Chance, you want to finish your thought there?
nah, you're good.
Excellent, excellent. So, like I said, this focus this week is on the shakeup, what happened this week in WWE. I would say both Raw and SmackDown were shocking. So we're going to get right into it. So the first segment tonight is going to be us discussing what we thought about each of the people that came over to different shows. We're going to skip some of the bottom feeders because there's zero reason to talk about them, and we'll go straight to the ones that matter. So this is our grades for each one. If we think that it was good for the show they went to, we're going to say money and then explain why. If we are unsure, like we don't know yet, it's unclear as to how well this person's going to fit in, then we'll just say cloudy. If we know this was a big mistake for this person to go to this show, or they add little value, we're going to say garbage. So let's start with our list here, and we'll go down the line. You are going to see a list in front of you, and we'll start from the top. Let's talk about from SmackDown to Raw first, since that was in the order. Our first one is Jinder Mahal and his buddy Sunil Singh. So you can call that two people. They go from SmackDown to Raw. So Chance, let's start with you. What did you think about Jinder Mahal going to Raw? Was that a money thing? We don't know yet, or was that a garbage move?
I think it's a little cloudy. I think it could be good and it could be bad. I think it could be good if that move is them trying to transition him into more of a main event kind of guy. Because I think he's got the talent to do so and the mic skills to do so, and enough. He's a really good heel, so I think he's got the talent to do it. But it's whether or not they're going to do it. If he just gets lost in all those, and all the talent they already have over there, then it'd be bad. It'd be a garbage move. But I don't think it could get any worse than what it was on SmackDown. So in that regard, it's probably money.
Chad?
Yeah, I'm gonna go money.
Oh.
I think Raw needs a good heel to combat Rollins and Finn Balor and Braun and all them guys that everybody likes. They need somebody that can fight them guys and not hurt the other people's brand too much.
Yeah.
I didn't see him holding that title very long either, so I thought that was a good idea. But he'll go. Hopefully, he'll fight some of the bigger names in Raw and not just fight the lower ones.
Yeah, and looking at it now, like you said in our text group, you know, if either of the other three people in that match would have had the title, came over to Raw and lost it, it would have really hurt them. But nobody really has an attachment to Jinder like they do the other guys that were in that match. So it's a pretty good idea. I would say that this is I wish I had put on here meh, because that's how I feel about it. I like the fact that he's a bad guy, but it's not that people hate him. I don't feel. I think they just don't want to see him at all, and not like in a we want to boo this guy because we're interested. For example, look at Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They're beloved by the fans, but because of what they were doing to Daniel Bryan, they booed the crap out of them. And Shinsuke should get the same thing eventually. I'm going to say garbage. Move on that.
See,
All right.
Go ahead. I like Gender, but I also like booing him. So kind of that's why I said more money, because I kind of like him.
Yeah, and like what you said is true that they need some heels on there to combat some of the faces. You can't just show Finn and Seth Rollins every single week. They got to have somebody that people can get behind and cheer them against that evil. And I'm glad that Gender has kind of dropped. You people are racist against my people, and he's just a bad guy. So that's been enjoyable. All right, how about that next match? And it's not up there as an option for me to choose. I got an idea. It's going to get real trippy for a second, so bear with me.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
How about that? Can you just see one thing?
Yeah, you're good now.
It says the Riot Squad going to Raw.
Yep. Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan all make the trip over to Raw. And so the question is this a good, is garbage, cloudy, or money? I'll go first. I'm going to say somewhere between cloudy and garbage because of all the women that are still on the show. Let's see, they're going to lose Asuka, and trying to think if they lost anybody else. Raw.
Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Yeah. So you lost 3, you gained 3, but you also have Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James. And so you got to wonder what they're going to be able to do with these girls. Plus, they all came over together, and they really had nothing in common. And what they had in common was the fact that they all didn't like Charlotte, apparently. Well, Charlotte's not on the show, so why are you still together? And, you know, what's your focus? That's my question about them. Chad, your thoughts on the Riot Squad making the move over to Raw?
Well, I think it's garbage too. I was hoping that Mandy Rose and Deville would stay wherever they were. Maybe they could have done something there, because there's not really many connections with the Riot Squad. So I'm sure they'll come up with something. Maybe it'll be something that gets Bayley and Sasha to finally get together against them or something. I don't know what they'll do, but I don't know. I think it was kind of garbage, like you said, just because they're not really a big deal, so moving them don't really matter usually. But, you know, I think the main reason they moved them is because Deville and Rose came over. They pretty much just flip-flop those two little groups.
Yeah. Before you talk, Chance, I'm going to reverse my opinion here. I'm going to call this a money because it just hit me. You can't just have all stars on your show and in that division, because somebody has to lose. So now you have 3 people that can take a loss, and you won't have to beat Sasha, and you won't have to beat Bayley, Nia Jax, or Alexa Bliss. So I think this is a good thing.
Move.
Yep.
Yeah.
And later on,
we said when SmackDown was going, like, it was so top heavy and it didn't have nobody. It didn't, like, it's the last 45 minutes was good, but the first hour and 15 were terrible. So it's like they're throwing some of those first few people to Raw. It's like, okay, you take some of these guys and let your big boys beat up on them, because they haven't been doing nothing for us. So,
yeah. Chance?
Yeah, I'd say this is garbage just because of the people. I think it is money for the reason that you said, but for me, the Riot Squad don't do anything for me. I don't care about them. I don't look forward to seeing them. I don't hate them. They're just kind of there. So for me, anything with them is garbage.
Chance, this is your first warning. Don't talk negatively about Sarah Logan. She's one of my favorite wrestlers. You will be muted if you do that again. So watch yourself. All right? Let me get another.
I can't talk bad about Asuka or Sarah?
No, obviously not.
Okay.
Hey, it popped back up. Okay. We knocked out Ruby Riot Squad. Let's go ahead and do Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens together, because they're connected right now. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens go to Raw from SmackDown. Chad, your thoughts on this? Is this a good move for Raw to bring these two guys on?
I think I don't know. I think it's money that they got them both for Raw, but I didn't really like that they went together. I was hoping it would just be Sami Zayn over there in Raw. Maybe he can actually get some spotlight away from KO and build his own brand, but I guess they're trying to stay with this stick for a little bit longer. So, in that respect, I think it's kind of meh or, kind of garbage. But I kind of like that they went to a new show, at least take it somewhere else and see what they can do with that side of with Kurt Angle and all them.
Yep. Let's add something to this. You got money, you got cloudy, you got meh, and you got garbage. So let's just go ahead and make that official the rest of the way. Chance, what do you think about these two going to Raw?
I'm going cloudy. I wish they had just got off the show completely for a little while and then brought them back at a later date. I'm kind of tired of them. And I think if they left for a while and came back, we'd start liking them a little more than I just feel like we've been oversaturated with them. So I'm just gonna go cloudy because we'll wait and see. If they don't
for house shows, you would make a point. So
if they pound them every week like SmackDown did, it's gonna be garbage because it's just gonna be the same crap. But if they do something different with them and actually make them wrestle and like be a tag team, a legit tag team, and not just be jerks for everybody. Which they can be both, I guess, but I don't know. We'll see what direction Raw goes with them.
Yeah, I think they had to go to Raw. Maybe I would have been cool with Sami Zayn staying behind because he's kind of separated himself. He's just not the tag along type. I could see him having great matches with other people on that show. But there's so many. The problem with that, there's so many guys like Sami Zayn that are really good wrestlers. AJ, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura. Who were you about to say? Ziggler. I'm not saying they all have the same characteristics, but when they're like that underdog type feel. Yeah, he may get lost on there. The matches would be great, but where do you put them in storyline? But at the same time, it's just irritating to see them together. I wish there would have been like a big fight or something, and they separated and they never had any contact with each other again because they've been connected for years. I know you weren't following it, or you were following it vaguely, but they had like a 1.5-year feud where they were beating the crap out of each other, and that's before. I mean, that's after they did the same thing in NXT. So they fall.
That feud was great.
Yep, but I'm saying they did that, and then they came back to on SmackDown. They were kind of sort of fighting in that Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan crap, and then they became best buds, and that's kind of where we are now. But I don't know. I guess I'm going to go cloudy because I don't want to say garbage. They're two stars, and they can do things. Kevin Owens is a master at telling a story, and hopefully he can. Maybe this will be a way for him to get his groove back that he lost on it. But I don't want him and Sami Zayn to have any contact with Kurt Angle at all.
They already do.
I know, but I want that to be it. No more interaction where, your boss Stephanie said that we can come here. That's it. Now you need to pick somebody out there, Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, and you need to go after them. So I'm going to go with a cloudy meh. I guess I don't know whether. I guess cloudy is the best way to describe that. So let's see what else we got. Screen share.
Breezango.
Tyler Breeze and Fandango go from SmackDown to Raw. I'll start this one. I'm going to say money because it's a 3-hour show, and there are plenty of times on Raw where you're just like, dear Lord in heaven, they're stretching this crap out. And the other problem with SmackDown, they had the opposite problem. They got 2 hours. So those cute little fashion files that were funny and hilarious, sometimes you didn't have time for them after you pile everything in there. And so this kind of gives them a little bit of artistic freedom, I think, to do their thing. The problem is they took some tag teams away from Raw. So they're going to have to step up their game. They're going to have to be the cute guys that do the films, but they're both talented. They're going to have to be a serious tag team contender. And I think they tried to do that by getting them to beat the bar on the way out as they headed to the other side. So I'm going to say money on this. Chance?
It would have been a meh for me before you kind of laid it out there, but you laid it out
the master.
I'm going to go money with you for all those same reasons.
I'm just so good. Chad?
Yeah, I had money when it all happened this week. I think we've talked about them before, really not much just because they're not really highlighted. How they have a lot of charisma and chemistry, and they're funny, and all the things New Day was 2 years ago to us. Now it's kind of gotten old, which this probably will too if we see enough of it. But since we haven't, it's good to see it. And like you said, they're pretty dang good wrestlers. So I think they've been the guys. They just get beat in 2 minutes. I think it's cool to see them. Oh, they've learned how to wrestle. They're getting better, and here they are now. They're competing. Yeah, I like the storyline too. So
yep.
I think it was a good idea to get them on Raw too for the whole 3 hours. They can spend 10 minutes on something now, and it's not a big deal.
Like if we were to sum up all the problems that we have with this show, like whenever we're talking about it and we complain about something, what it all boils down to is we see this stuff a whole lot and eventually loses its magic. Asuka. Now she's coming out of the ring. When she was on NXT, I saw her do her thing maybe like one time a month because I just watched the pay-per-view. Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, how many times can you see his intro and you're like, okay, that's great. I'm already tired of it. The Fashion Files, we're going to see it every single week, and it won't be as funny as it was the first couple of times we did it. Bray Wyatt on every single week doing the same type promo. Nobody is special. Yeah. Besides Brock Lesnar. He's special, but everybody else you just see every single week. So those bar matches over and over and over again. No matter how good of wrestlers they are, it just kind of starts
it's like you're almost seeing a rerun.
Oh, yep. That's a good way to put it.
Because
that's why I like the Usos a lot, is because I feel like they do pretty good with them as far as not over.
But I think it's funny though. It's like unless they let them really fight for a while, and then it's like, wow, why are they doing a 20-minute tag team match? If they do like a quicker match, they have to get their little specials in. They have to get their little quirks in. It's like by the time they get done with all that, they're only doing like 5 minutes of other stuff.
In the commercial breaks.
Really waters down the match in general. But
yeah,
that's the thing about tag teams. It's always been that way, though. You got everybody's got their own little. That's why I think it's good to like match up random single guys that aren't really getting any love. You might as well throw them on a tag team and see what they can do. See if they get some electricity between them.
All right, next up. Let's see what we got. We got Natalya. She goes from SmackDown to Raw, and she was a butthole on SmackDown, and all of a sudden, she's the sweetest person on the show. Chad, what do you think?
Don't care.
This
is
mad.
On there?
Yeah, this is mad all day long, and I forgot about her. She moved over too.
Exactly, you forgot about her. She's very forgettable.
But you have now you got Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey, Sasha, Bayley.
She's a good heel for all them people, so that's good.
She's good in the ring.
I think it's money. Only because of what they're doing with Ronda. I like that. I like that storyline they're going with there.
I don't like it because I'm about to see Natalya more. So
I like Natalya, so it's all good for me.
This will be good practice because it'll be like you'll get used to doing this, and it won't be so bad when you go visit your aunt from California that smokes like 5 packs a day and stays out in the sun too much.
Pretty much her.
You'll be
Yep.
used to it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we're all, I mean, me and Chad are of like mind on that. I'm going to say garbage. But again, it's somebody that you can beat and it'll be okay. Dolph Ziggler goes from SmackDown to Raw. Chad, I already know how you feel about this because you're a big Dolph Ziggler fan. I want to hear from Chance. How do you think? How did this go? Was this a garbage move, money move, cloudy, or meh for you?
I honestly don't know because I haven't really seen Dolph a lot in the ring. I'm not really sure, but the guy they matched him up with, what was the guy that went with him or that he
Drew
brought with him?
McIntyre. Drew McIntyre.
NXT guy.
I think they could. I think it could be good. From what I saw this week, I'm interested in seeing more of them. So I guess money in that regard. Interested in seeing Dolph Ziggler, and whereas before I didn't care. So.
Well, I'll give you a chance, Chad, to rant about this played out person. I'm kind of in the middle on this. It's only going to be good for Ziggler, and it's only going to be bad for Drew McIntyre. It's like a buzzkill. This guy is so cool looking, Drew McIntyre. He's got a good move set. He has a good character. And they're like, we're going to bring you up to the main roster. He's like, yeah, okay. You're going to be hanging out with Dolph Ziggler. And it's like, can I just stay here then? Because this is going to kill my career.
Yep.
Dolph does this same stupid promo. I'm the best wrestler here. I put on a show every single time. And that's the extent of his character. So this is I'm excited for Drew, and this is good for Dolph, bad for Drew though. So I'm going to say cloudy. Chad?
Yeah, I'm kind of just garbage, mainly because we already know what Dolph is, but we don't have a clue what McIntyre is.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you match him up with Dolph, you're like, okay, I guess they're going to throw him in the Dolph category, which is kind of terrible.
Yep.
The only thing I wish they would have done, and maybe they will, but this is a slight to Dolph, which he should be slighted because he's who he is now. Like be his like manager or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring up the McIntyre. He's gonna fight the fights I would fight. I'm gonna train him how to do stuff. That would have been like a cool angle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now they're like, oh, they're both just gonna fight, or they're both gonna help each other. If you fight, I'll be there for you. If I fight, you'll be there for me. Instead, I wish they had been like, okay, Dolph, you're just like you like his little brother. You know, you're helping him out. I think that would have been a real cool angle, which they might could turn into that, but I don't think Dolph will do that.
If they become a tag team and Drew kind of takes him away from this crap about him being the best in the ring and they give him a new focus, it'll be great. I mean, that'd be a solid tag team.
Too. McIntyre could turn on him, which could be good.
Yep, that eventually happen.
I'm hoping Dolph will change to match Drew rather than the other way around.
I'm just going to point out something that's stupid about Dolph Ziggler. I know there's 1,000 things. So what's the deal with his entrance? So he comes out there to a record scratch. It's 2018.
I'm usually in the bathroom when he's coming out. So.
Yeah. But there's
no
people aren't playing records anymore, except for again weird situations. And then there's a long pause, and then he plays his music. I don't understand the purpose behind this. It's stupid. I mean, am I supposed to be angry because he's a bad guy that his music plays? I'm not getting that vibe from him. I'm just getting this guy's stupid. But I digress. So our next one up is Baron Corbin. After Baron Corbin, there's several ones that we won't be talking about because they're garbage. Lower, bottom feeders. But Baron Corbin.
I'll go first here if you want me to.
Go ahead.
I think this is money. And I'm not I'm not 100% jumping up and down about it, but I want to see him fight bigger guys. I want to see him fight people his own size. Like he was beating up on AJ and all them guys in SmackDown. I want to see him fight Braun. I want to see him fight Brock or Roman Reigns or well, now Cass is gone, but that would have been a good match too. But I want to see him fight guys on his own, height and weight and all that, just to see what he can do with them. I think he's a great heel. I think him and Jinder might do something down the road, which would kind of help him gain some fans, maybe. But I think it's a money move just because he's a good heel, and he's actually pretty talented in the ring for as big as he is. So, as much as I don't like him, as like if you saw him out in public, you'd probably you wouldn't like him just because he's a punk, But I think he's good for wrestling. How about that?
Yep. Yeah. Chance?
I think it's garbage because they moved if they either needed to keep Samoa where he was on Raw or keep Corbin on SmackDown, because who's Samoa Joe going to wrestle over there? They ain't got nobody over there that is his size to wrestle with him. He's got Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke, and
all that's going to be great matches. All of it. They've all wrestled him before, and they were majestic, great matches. I'm so looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. But Baron Corbin going to Raw, you have convinced me, Chance, that this was a good not Chance, Chad. You talked about the matchups. Yeah, I think it's a good time for him to go wrestle people about his size. I'm not discounting what he did on SmackDown because it kind of is a cool concept of him being like a bully against the little guy, so the little guy can kind of overcome. But he's had that time, and now it's time to wrestle people his size, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I changed my mind. It's money. Ooh. The garbage move was Samoa moving. I forgot about that.
Which we'll get to that.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to skip Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley, Mike Kanellis, and we're going to move on to Chad Gable. Yep. Booty. Chad Gable. This is a garbage move, but not because this guy sucks or anything. He's a great, great wrestler, but he's little bitty, and he's going to the land of giants, and he's not going to have a place to fit in. He'll have matches on Raw where he challenges one of the other guys, and he'll look very good in it, and then he'll get pinned. That's going to be the sad state of his life now that he's left SmackDown, left the tag team.
Yeah,
it's sad. Chance?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a money move because they moved somebody over there who can take a bunch of losses and it'd be okay. Kind of the same way with the Riot Squad. But at the same time, it's kind of sad for him because, like you said, he's a good wrestler and he's kind of likable. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of cloudy, I guess, because it could go good for him if they decide to roll that way. But I doubt that'll happen.
Chad?
Yeah, it's garbage. You split up to me one of the better tag teams.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was like right outside the top ones,
Yeah,
I don't think they gave him a real fair shot. They never really gave him any title matches or nothing. So, and then like I think both of y'all might have said it. He's a little dude. I mean, he's going to the Atlanta Giants, and it's going to be interesting to see where he even play. I mean, he probably won't be on Raw much, to be honest. He'll probably fight every third week or something, but unless they do something weird with him or have like a confrontation with him, but he ain't very confrontational, so I don't see how that would work. So,
yeah,
I can see him joining up with
maybe Enzo will come back and fight him or something.
I don't think Breezango Chance. He's not very funny. He needs to be with somebody that's technical, that he can work with.
Could go along with them. They could be like they're trying to make him more fashion forward.
Okay, and he always wears like the old wrestler,
Right.
Olympic wrestler outfits. All right, I can dig that. All right. Finally, this will be the last one we talk about on Raw. That is Bobby Roode, a big, gigantic turd of a meh for me, because this guy is a big piece of trash in his current stage. I failed his class when I was in PE at MGM High School, and I've never forgiven him for that. He kept that paddle in his office, never used it, but he used that to intimidate people. So, Coach Rude, I get the last laugh on this show. Chad.
Yeah, he's I don't know where he fits in here. I mean, you got people like Lashley and McIntyre coming up, and it's like you're still letting Rude fight. It's like, and I don't know. It's just, I think the glorious thing ran its course, and now he's Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Wow.
a good comparison there.
Yep.
I think it's garbage because he wears the blue jacket, so he needed to stay on the blue side of SmackDown. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why he needed to
He's
stay
got a
there.
red one
That's
too, I
all.
think.
Does he? Never seen it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's just
Let's
one of those.
He's a guy that they're going to keep pushing, and he won't get the same reaction as everybody else, and eventually he will fade into obscurity. So
Yeah.
overall, let's talk about this before we move on to SmackDown. Let's talk about your overall opinions of what Raw got at the end of that show. Did you feel better about the direction of the show with the talent that they brought in?
You want me to go?
Yep.
Raw's worse than it was, talent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to get to, obviously if I'm saying that, Raw's obviously the winner of the two, but I think they gave up too much. I don't know if it was because SmackDown has been kind of crappy lately. Maybe they're like,
Yeah.
let's make SmackDown the king for a little while. Maybe
Get
that's
those ratings up.
And they're going to do the mixed pay-per-view, so it won't matter as much as it used to. So, but yeah, I mean, Raw, it's going to be a struggle, really, since like you've already mentioned, Brock, who's your biggest Raw guy, doesn't really fight much.
Mm-hmm.
And so, who's your stars? Obviously, they're going to probably pump up Braun, and he'll be at the top of the main event a lot. But they got to come up with something to really. I don't see where they're getting 3 hours, to be honest.
Yep. Chance.
Especially now that Miz is gone too.
Oh gosh, talking about a captivating speaker, somebody that could fill up some time. He can wrestle, plus he can do that show. Okay, Chance, what you think, bro?
Yeah. I agree. I think the Raw's obviously a little worse, but could be better in the long haul if we can get a little more depth in some of the characters, because they brought on some people that you don't really care to see, like the Riot Squad and like Breezango. They're not going to take a bunch of time in matches, so that means we get to possibly see more Seth Rollins, maybe some more of I can't think of anybody right now, but some more of the guys that are pretty good but aren't in the don't get shoved down your throat every week like Roman Reigns. So hopefully they'll do less Roman Reigns and Braun and more Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley and stuff like that. If they run that route, I think they'll be fine. But if they continue doing Roman Reigns every time and Cammy every time, then yeah, I think they'll be way worse.
What this reminded me of is fantasy football, where it's getting close to the end of the season, and there's two teams where the people who own those teams have completely checked out. Chance is the manager of this league, and Chase is making a playoff push. So Chance starts approving all of these lopsided trades so his brother can get into the playoffs. That's exactly what happened here. They all
SmackDown
of
ratings.
yeah, they were like Yeah. Can I get
Let me
let's
get
see.
Samoa Joe, and you get Corbin.
Yeah, how does that sound? Yes. All right.
Yeah.
How about
We get the Miz, and you get
mm-hmm,
Jinder. Sound like a
We
plan?
get Asuka, and you
for
get Riot
Natalia?
Squad.
Yeah, or Natalia. Yes, we're gonna get let's see
If
who
you look
else.
at, if you break it down like that, is
Yeah.
I guess you could say they got Cammy, but let me see. Pull up the SmackDown getters.
They got the bar though.
Yeah,
Yep, you'll be excited about that. I think they might be. It might be a little different experience for them over there. Hopefully, maybe they'll
pull it up
refresh
there,
their
Cole.
characters. So this isn't like this for that, but if
Right.
you, it might be a little close. So like, here you go. You traded Jeff Hardy for Jinder Mahal. You got to give that to SmackDown. They won that. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose and the Riot Squad is probably a
I like.
wash. Maybe a
Yeah,
little bit more for Ruby Riot because she probably has a little bit more gas in the tank than them. But Sarah Logan, you can't surpass that. Um, Samoa Joe, you could compare him to Baron Corbin or maybe Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. Big cash for I'm gonna say big cash for Baron Corbin because they're pretty much the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
they're
You got
pretty.
Carl, the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson.
R-Truth.
For
I didn't even see him.
yeah,
I missed that.
Sheamus and Cesaro for I don't know what you compare it. Yeah, Fandango.
It's not as
Anyway,
bad as I thought when I first saw it. So
but there's a lot of dump over here. Like these guys will never be on
yeah,
TV.
more doesn't always mean better. So
Connor Victor, Mike Kanellis, Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder. That's just saying we
which
want
it
to
needed
move
to
these
be.
guys.
Yeah, but they have 3 hours too, so they can run that. They
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
So it's good that SmackDown gave up a bunch of talent to make Raw have more time. But I
All
think
right.
SmackDown is going to be a really good show because it is only 2 hours, and now they have the talent to really pack it
Mm-hmm.
in
So,
front of
but
that.
and going back to our topic earlier about not overexposing talent, you got a ton of talent now. Now you say it's probably way too much for 2 hours. So now what you can do is say, guess what, Oscar, you won't be on this week.
Right.
Big Cass, you won't be on this week, but we're going to bring somebody else in there and give them a chance for the spotlight.
Yeah.
From Raw to SmackDown, one of the awesome trades right here as far as SmackDown goes is Jeff Hardy. He's on Raw the night before. He wins the belt and goes to SmackDown. This is definitely, there's no other way you can look at this as but complete money. Chance, your thoughts?
Yep. Some definitely money. He'd have been lost and never land at Raw with all that guys over there. And SmackDown, he'll probably be a main event guy. And we'll get to see him do some fun stuff. He's fun to watch. So he's good in the ring, and I think he'll be a good wrestler with AJ and Daniel Bryan and those guys. Yeah, money all around, and they bring a belt to the too.
Well, it was already there. They just for
Yeah,
one
yeah.
night it was at Raw. Actually, for about 10 minutes it was at Raw.
Yeah.
Chad?
Yeah, it's a win. That's money. Mainly because it's a big name. I mean, Jeff Hardy's been wrestling for a while, had some issues, came back. Hopefully, he can keep it together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Only problem is I'm kind of like Chance. I want him to fight AJ and Brian and all them. And if he has a U.S. title, he ain't gonna fight them because they're fighting the other titles.
Right.
So I don't know. Something's got to give there. Maybe something will change down the road, and we'll start seeing some of those matches. But they've got a lot of storylines they can go down. You know, the Miz, Daniel Bryan's gonna be the big one starting next week, which will be interesting how they go there. I don't really like the AJ Daniel what they tried to do there for a couple of weeks. I don't know what that was about, but
Well, the good news in all this is that U.S. title belt, it's going to mean a whole lot right now. Think back to before the shakeup. You had Rusev, Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton wrestling for that thing, and it had very little value. I love Rusev, but in that situation, that was just time filler. Now, if you look at all the talent over there, there's going to be 2 or 3 good people that can't be in the main title storyline. They're going to be tearing it up. How about Rusev and Jeff Hardy? Okay, we're going to hold off on those matchups. We'll talk about them in a second, but that's just going to be awesome. We'll put these two together: Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose. I think they're in the same place. I'm going to say a small money because of what we talked about before. This gives somebody for Asuka to beat and Charlotte to beat. So I think this is good in the sense that it'll be good for the show. Chance?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's kind of a meh. It's kind of a meh, kind of a money. It's kind of meh because you still got the Iconics or whatever over there.
Oh, I forgot about them. Dang it, that's not on this list, I don't think.
So you didn't really need them, but there's just a ton of women on Raw, and they got the Riot Squad too, so you had to move somebody pretty much. And they were probably pretty low on the list for Raw, so they threw them over there.
Let's talk about Iconics when we get to the bottom there. I definitely want to talk about them. Keep going, Chance.
It was pretty even trade with the Riot Squad. I think they both could have stayed where they were and probably been better off than making both of those trades.
Chad?
That's about what I think.
Yeah.
Bottom tier women. It's hard to talk. It's like talking about what's his name on the bottom of the other one.
It's like talking about which kicker you picked in fantasy football draft.
Yeah, I mean,
that's important, man. You can never have too many of those.
I do like.
What if he gets injured?
As long as Mandy Rose keeps wrestling every week, we'll be all
right. They're high on her too. I don't think it's because of the same reason Chad's high on her, but they
I'm sure
think
it has a little bit to do with it.
Maybe.
I'm sure it has some.
All right, gentlemen, moving on. Probably the biggest move, I'm going to say, of this entire shakeup. Samoa Joe coming to SmackDown. I would say it was the biggest surprise and the biggest move, mainly because he's involved in a storyline with Roman Reigns, and at the biggest Royal Rumble, he'll be wrestling for the Intercontinental title. But this guy is so awesome. I would say he needs to go to some type of therapy to help him with his sweating, and he probably doesn't need to holler so much. This dude stepped out to talk to Roman Reigns this past week, and he was sweating. Like, that's not normal, dude. You gotta go to that cryotherapy or something like that. Try to fix that problem. Chad, your thoughts on Samoa Joe?
Well, I'll preface this by saying I've never understood the fascination, so I can't really say money or nothing. I'm kind of, what's it? I don't care. Was that one of them? What was it?
Meh.
Yeah, I'm just, or maybe I'm cloudy on it because I don't know. Since I don't know much about him, you got to think he didn't fight much before he got hurt, and then now he got hurt. Now he's back, and I'm supposed to believe that he's some bad A, but I really haven't seen it, so it's kind of.
Well, he fought a good bit whenever he was first in there, but it was such a small time period. Like
yeah,
from what I remember.
I don't know. I need to see him fight more, I guess. Yeah. And I think he's a good talker, but sometimes he's repetitive.
He's the best on either show talking, my opinion. Chance?
I don't know. I'm kind of with Chad, cloudy, just because I'm kind of in the same boat. I hadn't seen a ton of him. But yeah, I kind of, and I would be more money but I'll get to that later.
All right, so let's look at our list here, and our next one is Big Cass. Big Cass makes the move from Raw to SmackDown after being off for a very, very long time. I don't know if you guys were even watching it as much as you are now, but he got hurt, and they were in the middle of a big push for him towards ACL, so he was on the shelf for a long time. I don't care about this. I'm going to go meh. I think it'd be good for him. I think he might blossom from this. It'll be totally up to him because he's got a lot of good wrestlers around him to help him out and help him to improve. Because you think about this, if he needs to wrestle little bitty guys, there's plenty. If he needs to wrestle big, you got Samoa Joe there and several other thick guys that he can match up with. That's just my feeling. Chance.
Yeah, I'm with you with the meh. Same reasons. I ain't really got much to say on it.
Chad?
I'll give it a cloudy more than a meh, because actually I'm interested in what he'll do just because, I don't know, he's kind of dumb. So it's like most of the time they can't push people that can't really talk and don't really have charisma. He has neither. So it's like I wonder how, because they made him look like a bad A this past week. Like what he kicked Brian, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
it was in the middle of a match though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's at the main event of SmackDown. Now he's back, and that might be why he was showcased that way.
Yeah.
But I still think it was interesting. I think it could get awkward just because I don't think he's fit to be, at the top of SmackDown, especially now. So we'll see what they do. I think it's very cloudy though, but
if they put him,
I don't think he has the it factor.
If they get him over before they get Rusev over, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, me too. We were talking earlier about Baron Corbin and this being kind of like a swap. I think Baron Corbin's pretty much plateaued. I don't see him getting any better or any worse. I think he's just right there. And this guy has like a thin hair, more like a potential, but it's just a little bit.
It ain't much potential, but he'd also don't. I don't know. I think Corbin has more of a talk and charisma than this dude. I mean, this
Big Cass has more hair though.
That's true. That's true, and he don't have the weird belly. So.
Yep. Very, very true. Okay, Asuka is up. In my heart of hearts, I want to say this is a money move, and it will be fun to see her. It will be fun to see, and I will enjoy it, but I don't trust them at all because this company misused her on Raw, and I think it's going to be the same exact thing on this show. They'll do stuff to make us slowly turn on her. So I'm going to say cloudy, and I hate the fact that I got to say that. Chad?
I mean, what am I basing it on? The storyline or just?
It's a good move for SmackDown WWE. To bring her in. Yeah,
it's 100% money for SmackDown because she's who she is. So that really ain't even really debatable. But what's debatable is it good for her? It's kind of weird if you think about it. They took away most of Ronda's competition.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, maybe they'll just pay-per-view all the competition, and they might, because now they're doing the mixed match pay-per-views. Yeah, true. I just don't see Sasha fighting Ronda anytime soon. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I think it's money for SmackDown, but didn't we just see Charlotte and Asuka fight? I mean, I don't know.
Somebody got to keep them apart on a 2-hour show, and you got, I don't know when they would wrestle, but it's got to be at one of the special ones, like an August SummerSlam, something like that. But they'll throw it away on a random SmackDown. Guess what? In the main event this week, we have Charlotte and Asuka. Yeah, like they do with Bayley and Sasha. Yeah, y'all can wrestle. Go ahead. I know y'all have a storyline going on, but we'll just let y'all wrestle this week. The Good Brothers are up, gentlemen. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I'm going to say cloudy on this. I don't think that they're very good wrestlers, or they're not a significant tag team. But you do have AJ there, and they used to be together when they were in Japan. They're called the Bullet Club. So maybe he can join forces with them and help them in their career, and it will wind up being good for the show. But till then, I'm saying cloudy. Chance?
Yeah, I'm with you. Cloudy. I just It's hard. It's hard on tag teams because you don't know what they're gonna do with them really. Because you could split them up, you could keep them together. Um, like same thing with the bar. It's gonna be a cloudy too because you don't know what direction they're gonna go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bar they should keep together. Me personally, but Gallows and Anderson. I like Gallows a lot. I think he could be a really good single guy. Um, Anderson, I don't know, just I don't like his wrestling style for some reason. I'm gonna go Cloudy.
Chad?
I'm gonna go man on this just because I don't know. I'm kind of over these tag teams that are serious and don't win. If that makes any sense.
Perfect sense. Perfect sense.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like them and the other group with the red underwear or whatever. They
Ascension.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they I mean, they're really serious. Like, oh, we're really serious, but yet you lose every match. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I'd rather you have a stick and lose every match, like Breezango and
Like at
New
least
Guy, New
Lesnar's
Day, and
serious when he wins.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's tough to explain, but I
Yeah.
don't know because if you're really serious and you keep losing over and over again, you're kind of a joke at that point, aren't you? So,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
but I don't know. I feel like you have to reinvent yourself if you're going to be a heel on a tag team, and they're not like unlikable either. So it's like
Right.
at least Bludgeon Brothers, even they're not even losing, but say they were losing, at least they're a heel. Their people hate them and they push people around. They fight after the
Yeah.
bell rings and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. The Gallows, they fight fair and square and they just get beat every time and they walk away. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like they're like old school wrestlers that can't fight the new guys. I don't know.
I wish that they would. We talked about it before, but in order to keep somebody's got to lose every week. So you either let everybody lose and everybody win, or you let certain teams lose. There's two ways to fix this. One, you talk about matchups. So you don't have to go super scientific with this. You don't have to get this guy hits left-handers better in September, that kind of bull crap. But you can just say, Jay Uso is susceptible to the big boot that Carl Anderson or the big guy Luke
Right.
Hallers. You get what I'm saying?
He's got a
Uh,
soft chin.
exactly. And you can say, he has so much power behind his big boot that he's susceptible to it. And you can also say it's okay to say some people go in slumps. And you got that guy, he's your home run hitter, and he's hot in April, and then he cools off in July. It doesn't mean he's not a great baseball player and a great hitter. It just happens. And these guys are wrestling the whole year. So you could make a case where, this team's sliding down and this team is going up. But you gotta phrase it that certain way to get that point across. Sheamus and Cesaro. Background information here: Sheamus has some type of spinal issue. I don't know how long he's going to be doing this, but this could be a time where Sheamus either retires or goes away for a while, and that opens the door for Cesaro on a show where there's a lot of good wrestlers. There's a U.S. title contender right there in the making. So I'm going to say this is a money decision just for all the potential that's in it. Chance?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's money just because it's cloudy, but it's also money. It's money because those two guys can do anything. They're funny, they're charismatic, they're great one-on-one wrestlers. They're both good wrestlers by themselves, and they're a good tag team. So, regardless of what you do with them, they're going to be good. So, I think either way you slice it, really, with them, it's going to be money.
Chad?
Yeah, I agree. You got a perennial intercontinental champion, and you got a perennial, uh, main event, whatever they call the thing, universal champion, whatever they call it now. I don't know what they called it then, but that's, and then they started a tag team, so it's kind of like we knew they were going to be good just based off of what they were before they were. a tag team.
Until Braun Strowman came in and
So
killed
it's
them
like you
both,
couldn't have made them a tag team and made them bad. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
And if what you're saying is true, then yeah, I mean they could do that anywhere, but they'd need to change the scenery really if that's what were to happen. So maybe them losing to Brzango maybe is a way out, or start the way out. So
yeah.
we'll see.
All right. So there's Sanity. They have come up from NXT, and we can't say anything here except for cloudy because we don't know how this crew's going to do. They were good in NXT, but they weren't necessarily the top team. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to come down to how they present them and the storylines that they have them in. It's definitely not a garbage one. Let's just say cloudy on that. I can tell you, Andrade Cien Almas, if they do this guy right, he will be WWE champion one day. You're right, but at least they can squeeze him into the U.S. title area. He is so good. His manager is so good as well. I just hope they do not screw him up. The Miz going to Raw, I mean, that's obviously money all the way around, right?
Yeah.
We all think that that's a money move.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
who's on the talk of it? Yeah, he's the opposite of a bottom feeder, where it's completely obvious why he deserves to be there.
I think he could be considered probably the best heel in the history of wrestling. I'm not even.
I don't know about that. So this is before everybody's time, and I'm not saying that I'm one of those guys that's
last
like
20 years.
Yeah, Harley Race was a good wrestler, but I will say that he had a cage match against somebody, and he was completely surrounded in police officers because of the threats to his life. He came to the ring and he had completely surrounded by just a great heel. Everybody hated him. That's beside the point. Miz is great. He's in the middle of a renaissance in his career, and he's awesome. I will say this one thing about him. I think he tries to get cheers way too much, and that's the only negative about him, in my opinion. But he's a 21st century heel where he's right on that fence, and he definitely doesn't want to become a Jinder Mahal. He kind of wants to stay there where the fans find him funny, and every now and then they jump over to the other side. So I guess it's okay for him to do that. All right, let's move on to our next segment. It's kind of tied into this, but let's talk about some new matchups that you're excited to see. We'll start with Raw. With the influx of talent like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I think that's pretty much the only ones that I was really jacked up about on this side. Just a lot of a dump of talent. Maybe Drew McIntyre. Chance, is there any potential matchups on Raw you're excited to see?
Bring up that list again.
Okay.
I'll say something while he looks at it.
Go ahead, bro.
I want to see, I already mentioned it, I want to see Corbin against either Braun or Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you might say, well, Corbin isn't as good as them. Well, I don't care. I mean, I think it'll be a good fight. Or even Roman Reigns. Corbin and Roman Reigns. I think some of these fights have happened, but they were just one and done kind of deals.
It's been a long time too, so they'll probably seem fresh to us.
I don't know. I don't really have one. I don't really see anybody that sticks out to me. I'm tired of Cammy. I like Jinder, so I like to see him get a shot at the Universal title.
You like Jinder?
You're the only person on earth besides Jinder's mom, and that's questionable. Oh yeah, Bob. Hey Bob, if you're watching this, but how about Seth?
I used to hate him, but for some reason, I don't know why. It's just been the last few weeks, I guess. I've started to like him.
Well, I'm looking forward to Seth Rollins going up against Corbin and kind of showing him the ropes and getting a very good match out of him. I think that'd be interesting. Sami Zayn, and let's see, Roman Reigns. I think they had some good matches. Corbin and Reigns would probably have some. That's pretty much the only thing that I care about because I think everybody here has been they're played out, so to speak,
I
as
do
far as
think
the matchups.
Sami Zayn and Rollins would be a really good match to watch.
Yeah, It'd be one of those, Monday night, not unannounced matches that come on. And you're like, okay, this would be really good. Just kind of get you in the flow of things. Maybe start the whole evening out on. All right. How about SmackDown? I'm gonna go first here and just kind of go over some matches. Samoa Joe versus anybody, but specifically AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe. There's just so many possibilities here. Not really excited about any of the Asuka matchups, maybe Becky Lynch, but I'm just not on fire about the women's division in SmackDown. I love Naomi, but it's more of I love her and not necessarily the matches that are involved. They're not intriguing to me, but I guess I could probably say the same thing about the Raw women matches at the time. Chad, what you got for me? What are you interested on SmackDown matches wise?
I think Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke would be a decent match.
Woo! Yep.
Maybe
Hardy and
Shinsuke
Daniel
will
Bryan.
stop picking on AJ. I doubt it, but
How about New Day versus the Bar?
I was gonna say the Bar and Usos.
I don't think New Day against the Bar has ever happened, has it?
It happened at one of those weird pay-per-views where it was like one night only. They wrestled each other for some reason, but it was a good match. When the New Day are on their game and not putting pancakes in their pants, man, they are so good, so talented.
The Big E's fighting.
Yep, true. How about
Big E has fought a match?
So if you got pancakes in your pants, what?
We need to email.
Watch it. It's a family show, chance.
Email in WWE.
Wouldn't that be pants cakes?
Oh my God!
What's he? I thought he was done. Email Triple H. Every one of us, 1,000 times a week. Why the heck is Big E doing what he's doing with him? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out. Maybe he's hurt. I don't know.
One thing we're all forgetting is that R-Truth AJ Styles match.
Oof.
That's coming up.
That'll be the fastest 45 seconds ever.
I beg to differ, sir. I beg to differ big time. All right, let's move on to our winners and losers for this week. I'll go last because I'm going to say.
Hey, before we go that, I got something.
Go ahead.
I got a rant for y'all this week.
You want to go with your rant now? Break
Yep.
up the monotony? Go ahead, my brother.
All right, so first things first, the Uso brothers. How does SmackDown let the Uso brothers go out there and just get throttled by the Bludgeon Brothers, who I like and they're good, but the Usos have been champions for a long time now, and to just strip them so quick and so easy from the Bludgeon Brothers stripping it so quick and easy. I think that match should have been a 20, 30-minute match and have been a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Bludgeon Brothers just can't do that long of a match. Maybe that's why they did it. But, I mean, Jey Uso took a clothesline and got pinned from it. Like, a clothesline pending?
Yep.
That's stupid. They're making these guys out to be next to nothing. I mean, no better than the guys the Bludgeon Brothers been beating up on for a month now. Just the new talent coming in to get thrown around. They ain't been much different than what they've been doing with the Usos. So I'm really mad about that because I like the Usos a lot, and I think they could have had a really good match instead of
That was just a
clothesline
strange
pinning
ending.
again.
It's like it wasn't supposed to end that way, but it did.
Yeah. And then Carmella and Becky, y'all got to get rid of them leotards. Got to get rid of those things. Becky, we back in the jean shorts and jacket, and Carmella, we need you back in the pants and the sports bra thing that you had way back, because y'all are much more fun to watch then. It just adds more to their character to me. Like the leotards just make you seem like garbage. I mean, not the girls themselves, just the wrestler the characters. It makes them seem like bad wrestlers. And maybe that's why they're doing it right now with Becky, at least, because they've kind of demoted her and she's not really doing a whole lot. The Asuka entrance, I thought they did that terribly, because it was like she just came in at the end of the match, and I don't know. I feel like they could have did a big promo with her, kind of like they did Baron Corbin on Raw, the promo they did on him. I feel like they could have did something like that with her. I just think they could have done a lot better there with how good she's been. She's only had one loss in WWE, so I just feel like they should have done that up a little better. And then Shinsuke, I used to like him a lot ever since he's started nut punching. I just can't have any respect for anybody that does the nut punching. And he's just getting weirder and weirder every week, and it's just creeping me out. Get back to your old ways, Shinsuke, and start speaking English again. I hate it.
I love
him right now.
Are you done?
I guess it's working. I guess their stick's working with him and him being in the heel, because it's making me hate him.
Did you see
I hate
the
him
face
as
he
much
was
as I
making?
used to hate Jinder.
After he hit AJ, you see the face on his face whenever.
Yeah, I saw him looking at Dana Bryan.
Yeah, he's just,
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
and then
But then he just got weird with the
then he
reporter.
walked backwards into the as he was trying to leave the little stage area. And he hit the wall and was like.
His mannerisms are so great right now. His body language, I'm loving it.
I hate it.
I think it's good too, John,
like,
that he's not fighting, because you're not seeing that entrance so much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like you said, maybe make it
point.
like every 3 weeks see the entrance instead of every single week.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good point. They do a pretty good job with him and not oversaturating with him.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I got talking about nut shots is Jeff Hardy. He does this thing where he spreads the guy's legs, and I don't know if he's jumping on the guy's stomach or his crotch or what, but I need that to be made clear, because if it's his crotch, then that's another guy I'm going to hate. But if it's his stomach, then that's okay. But you need to find out a better way to kick somebody in the stomach than between their legs. So, John, can you
looking it up right now, buddy? I'm not familiar with all his moves.
Let me know. I'm pretty sure he did it on SmackDown. I can't remember if he did it on Jinder or not. Another thing, Samoa should never have been moved. Why are you going to start a storyline with Roman Reigns and Lesnar on Raw the night before you moving to SmackDown? Like, this didn't come as a surprise. They knew that was going to happen.
It's a swerve, buddy. They call that a swerve. It's supposed to. It's very hard to surprise you with anything these days, and I surprise people.
You think they started that storyline to make you think Samoa wasn't leaving, basically?
No, but they probably woke up the day of the shakeup and were like, "Hey, what about Samoa Joe going to SmackDown?" Well, Vince, he's involved in a match, this and this and that. No, we'll put him over there. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll do that.
Yeah, maybe. And then lastly, I've got a special tribute for Bray Wyatt, my boy. I've been talking about him for weeks now, and been hoping that they did something different with him since getting thrown into the lake of despair. But I got something to say to him. I'm done with him. I'm tired of him. Nobody wants to watch him anymore. He needs to get his own thing or get rid of Matt Hardy. And I don't know if they're just trolling him. They think he's they're just trolling him and they just hate him, so they're gonna make him just be Matt Hardy's henchman. And they didn't even give him a new move, making him Woken. Like Matt Hardy got the whole delete thing whenever he did that, but they gave nothing to Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt, this song's for you. I'm sorry, man. This is just you. This is my funeral for you in my heart. That's all I got.
That was beautiful, man. Pro Wrestling Podcast viewers, I'm here. You like that?
That was good. That was good.
If you didn't have the big one on over you, it'd be a little bit better.
Yeah. That was a little scary. I didn't want to do all that. Chance, that was awesome. Thank you very, very much for your rant this week. We look forward to an episode of Played Out Wrestlers next week. Something to look forward to. How about our winners and our losers for this week for episode 12, Monday Night Raw and Smackdown Live? Chad, who is your winner and loser for this week?
My loser is Jinder Mahal for obvious reasons. He goes to Raw, loses his title, very first match on Raw, and then they take it to SmackDown, obviously, because that's where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
And I done forgot my winner, so somebody else go.
Well, let's add on what you just said. Not only did he lose the title, but they did not have a limo pick him up, and he had to come in a regular rental car, I think. This is Jinder Mahal, people. Good Lord, you got to have a
modern
limo.
day.
Chance, you got a winner and a loser?
Yeah, buddy. Winner to go along with Chad's loser is Jeff Hardy. He won the match. He got the belt. Became Grand Slam. He became Grand Slam champion, right?
Sure.
Moved to SmackDown.
He's double. He is double. He's on all the titles twice.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yep.
So he wins the title. That's a win. He moves to SmackDown. That's a win. And then he beats who did he beat over there?
Somebody garbage.
No, it was decent.
Gable's sidekick.
Shelton Benjamin. They put on a pretty good match for everybody. Pretty good match, and he won that one. So he's still the title holder. So he's definitely my winner for the week. For he won three different ways. Losers, obviously, from my rant, you probably know already. I got the Usos losing. They're just destroying them at this point. To me, Bray Wyatt. I'm not even going to pay attention to him anymore. And AJ Styles lost because that's like 4 nut shots now in 2 weeks. So.
All right, I'll piggyback on that. My winner was Shinsuke. You pretty much are involved in about 82 seconds of SmackDown, and you still look really funny and really cool somehow. I think what they're doing with him is hilarious and really smart. Because, you can only have so many, good guys, I guess you can say. So yeah. I think it's good that they're healing him out. And they got to figure out a way, when is he going to fight, who's he going to fight, and all that, too, at some point. But right now they're just making him kind of like a clown, which is kind of funny. John?
All right. I was looking for the Hardy Boys theme. I couldn't find it. Okay, my winner for this week, SmackDown Live. They had a decent cast, but we had been down on them for a long time. They got no excuses now.
Yeah.
Now it's going to come down to writing stories because the gods have blessed them with the best roster of either show, and it's going to be on the writers. My loser for this week, Roman Reigns. Because somehow he is trying to twist the fact that Vince McMahon gave him another title shot in Saudi Arabia in the main event, I assume, or at least a very focused match, into a conspiracy against him. Now, let me ask you a question, guys. If you got a raise after you violated some rule at your company, let's say you missed like 4 days in a row. You show back up on Thursday and your boss
Now, was
say,
this no call no shows? These were no call no shows.
yeah, they had no idea where you were. They called your mom and she didn't know where you were. That's how bad it was. And you show up on Thursday, your boss like, get in here, Chance. We're going to give you a $3 raise an hour. And you're like, what are you doing to me, man? You're mistreating me. How? I don't get it. I didn't even know where I was going to have this match. I had to find out on the internet. I had to find out on social media that I had a title shot. Come on now. It'd be like you being like, I had to find out from Ted in the break room that I had a raise. What can you tell me to my face? It's just pathetic. Oh my Lord. All right. We are a little over on time, surprisingly. Didn't know we were going to be at this point, but I think it's been a good episode. We're missing you, Chase. You bring so much to this show. But he's on vacation, and I want you to think about the one who has been consistent every week, the Iron Man, John.
All day offered.
They don't call me all day for nothing, babe.
Nope. You got to earn that title.
You do. Especially in church softball. In church softball, they don't give you that title unless you're there all day long and you're perfect.
Consistent.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Is there anything left that you want to say? Anything you want to plug? I'm sure that book's doing well. I've returned my copy because I didn't care for it, but I'm sure everybody else is liking it. Chance.
I'm excited about the Saudi Arabia thing. We'll talk about that more next week, but
yeah, we'll do picks next week, and
pretty interesting.
Yep. I mean, we'll do picks Thursday, and it'll be on Friday, so that'll be exciting. All right. If there's nothing else, guys, we're going to say so long. Remember our email address, prowrestlingperspectives@gmail.com. Send us some information. How do you feel about this show? How can we make it better? Somebody's watching this, because I know we ain't watching it 22 times between all three of us. So just please do that. And if you would follow, like, and subscribe to our YouTube page, that'd be excellent. So you can get these. And we can move it up a little bit in the YouTube world. With that, I'd like to say goodbye to everybody. Peace.